Good morning, students. Today I'm going to explain you about voice. Now in voice we are going to learn about passive and active voice. Okay, there are two kinds of voice. So we are going to learn about that. But before we go to active and passive voice, I would like to explain what is voice. So if you look at the board, I have already written the definition out there. Voice is the form of the verb which shows whether the subject is the doer or something has been done upon him. It's a form of verb actually, okay? Which shows whether the subject is the doer. Is the doer here means the one who has done something, or something has been done upon it, okay? Whether something has been done upon the subject, okay? We all know that in a sentence there is always a subject, there is a verb, and then there is always an object. Okay, now there are two kinds of voice. Number one, active voice. Number two is passive voice. First I'm going to explain you active voice. Okay, now look at active voice. When the verb in a sentence shows that the subject is the doer of the action, the verb is the active voice. Okay, now the verb, it must show, the verb must show that the subject is the doer of the action. Doer of the action here means something, that subject has done something. Okay, for example, I have given here Sudeep ate a mango. Now if we look at this Sudeep, it's a subject, isn't it? And if you look at ate, it's a verb. And then we look here, mango, it's an object. So what do we see in the sentence? Sudeep has eaten a mango, isn't it? So this is an active voice. Now if you go to passive voice, when the verb in a sentence shows that the subject is not doer of action, the verb is in the passive voice. Now in the passive voice, what happens? The verb shows that the subject is not doer of action. Doer of action here, again I'm going to explain you that the object has not done anything here. Okay, it has not done anything here. Now look at the example. A mango was eaten by Sudeep. Now look at this both sentences. If you look at the sentences, we have not changed the meaning of the sentences. Only the subject and the position of the object has been interchanged. Okay, a mango was eaten by Sudeep. Now a mango here is a subject, was eaten by is a verb, and then Sudeep here is an object. Now this is what a passive voice is, isn't it? Now I have drawn a small picture out here, a chart out here. You can look it carefully how we can convert active voice into passive voice. All right, in active voice I have written the hunter shot the tiger. Look carefully, the hunter shot the tiger. Now the hunter is subject, shot active verb, and the tiger is object here. Now if we need to interchange it, now how we can do it? I'm again telling you one more thing. A sentence has a subject, a verb, and an object. Okay, now look at this sentence. Now in order to convert it into passive voice, we have to interchange the object and the subject, isn't it? Now look at that. Now in passive voice, what happens? The tiger is our subject here, was shot, it is a passive verb here, and by hunter is doer or agent, isn't it? Now look at the sentence. Though the sentence has been interchanged, the meaning of the sentence has not been changed. Alright, so what we have simply done, the doer, isn't it, we have interchanged the position of the doer. It comes at the end. Okay, and what the object had been, it comes to the front. Okay, we have to change the position of the subject and the object in order to make it a passive voice. And always remember the active verb, the verb, if you look at the verb, it comes to the passive voice. It always comes like was shot. So shot becomes was shot. Is that clear now? And then always remember that the object, the doer, isn't it, is always preceded by auxiliary verb. This is by helping verb. This is by. Always remember that. Whenever you need to convert active voice to a passive voice, always remember that there are two verbs that is added here. Again, I'm explaining you again here. A mango was eaten by Sudeep. Here, was eaten. This is a verb, and here by Sudeep. By Sudeep. You have to remember this. Okay, now I'm going to explain you the rules for change. Okay, there are 4 rules. I'll go number wise. Okay, number 1. When a sentence is changed from active voice to passive voice, the object of the active voice, okay, the object of the active voice, that is the tiger, isn't it? The tiger here becomes the subject of the passive voice. Look, it becomes the subject. This is our object in active voice. No, look here. In active voice, it's an object. In passive voice, it becomes the subject. Okay, becomes the subject of the passive voice. It becomes subject of the passive voice. Number 2, the subject of the active voice. Now look at that subject, the hunter. Subject of the active voice becomes the object of the passive voice, preceded by. Look at that. Now the subject of the active voice becomes the object of the passive voice, that is preceded by. Okay. Number 3, the main verb in the active voice is changed into the third form of the verb, and the third form of the verb must be preceded by the verb be. In the same way, the 4th one, the passive voice must take 2 verbs, that is was shot. Now look at the passive voice. The tiger was shot by hunter. No, so was shot. This takes the 2 verbs. Okay. So this is all for today. We'll meet again in the next class. Till then, stay safe, stay home. Thank you.